Hey guys, this is Matt Brunet, and welcome to Movie News Weekly, hosted by FilmBook. Now, before we begin, let's take a look at what we got in this week's news, which includes The Mummy's downfall, whose fault is it for Ghostbusters, Kung Fu coming to Hollywood, the people of the papers, some special animated magic, AntMan, the Wasp, and Cayman, Jordan and Coogler are back in school, Melissa McCarthy saves Christmas, here's your Thanksgiving death wish, and the wizards are kids again. So with that said, let's get things started. I think that Dark Universe is off to a really bad start. Due to the help of poor reviews of both critics and audiences, Universal's new cinematic universe starter, The Mummy, began as a flop by only beginning in second place with more than $32 million. This puts it behind last week's queen of the box office, Wonder Woman, who remains in her throne in first place by only going slightly lower with about $57 million. Meanwhile, the other new big movies this week aren't doing that well either. The American war drama Megan Levy started off in 8th place with less than $4 million, and the new horror film It Comes at Night only getting up to 6th place with just $6 million. This puts it behind Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, which is in 3rd place with about $12 million, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales with less than $11 million, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with more than $6 million. Who you gonna blame? Director! In an interview on the Sunday Brunch, Dan Aykroyd discussed about why the reboot of Ghostbusters back in 2016 became possibly the biggest failure of that year. Aykroyd stated, "The girls are great in it. Kate McKinnon, Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, what wonderful, wonderful players they are, and Leslie Jones. I was really happy with the movie, but it cost too much, and Sony does not like to lose money. They don't. It made a lot of money around the world, but just cost too much, making it economically not feasible to do another one, so that's too bad." He would also go on to say that director Paul Feig would be to blame for spending $30 to $40 million on reshoots and that he would not be welcomed at Sony Pictures again. Sony would later say that the last statement was not true and that the reshoots actually cost only $3 to $4 million. Here's a better way to get into the Kung Fu. Universal Studios Hollywood has announced that it will be taking down the Shrek 4D attraction and replace it with another 3D show that will feature Kung Fu Panda. Also, the exterior will completely be revamped to make it themed to the studio behind Shrek and Kung Fu Panda, DreamWorks Animation. The details stated, opening in 2018, this newly designed venue will play host to a variety of action-packed DreamWorks Animation-themed attractions, beginning with the multi-sensory adventure inspired by the global blockbuster franchise Kung Fu Panda, and created in partnership with Universal Creative and DreamWorks artists. This new technologically advanced attraction will take guests on a legendary journey that fuses captivating storytelling with state-of-the-art projection mapping and LED lighting effects for a highly engaging and immersive, unstoppable, awesome experience. Universal has also announced their plans for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter with a special holiday theme. We know the crazy people in the midst of the Russia-Trump investigation, but now let's see who's in the Pentagon. The cast has been announced for Steven Spielberg's upcoming feature, The Papers, which was previously called The Post, which is about the true story of the Washington Post, who decided to publish classified information from the Pentagon in 1971. Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks have already been announced as the stars, but now the rest of the cast will include Alison Brie, Bob Odenkirk, Bruce Greenwood, Bradley Whitford, Carrie Coon, David Cross, Jesse Plemons, Michael Stuhlbarg, Sarah Paulson, Tracy Letts, and Zach Woods. Amblin Entertainment and Fox will be taking care of the finances, while the latter is also handling the domestic distribution. The Papers will be out in the public on January 12th, 2018. Oh, they're prepping up some good magic, alright! Disney has announced its list of panels created specifically for their animated features that will be presented at this year's D23 Expo. The biggest one will be the first day when Chief Creative Officer of both Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios John Lasseter will reveal new information and clips for both studios' upcoming lineups, including appearances from voice talents and musical guests. Following after that will be a special princess panel that features the voices of Disney princesses like Jodie Benson, Ming-Na Wen, Anika Noni Rose, and Aolii Cravalho, two of which that looks into the making of the worlds and another of the characters of Pixar, and an all-new animated short based on the hit film Frozen called Olaf's Frozen Adventure, and a special panel dedicating the 75th anniversary of Bambi. The expo will be happening in Anaheim on July 14th through the 16th. From Black Mirrors to shrinking superheroes, Hannah John Kamen, who appeared in many TV shows like Black Mirror, Game of Thrones, and Killjoys, has signed on with Marvel to be the first new casting in one of their sequels, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Both the plot and John Kamen's role remain unknown, as Marvel is keeping it a secret for now, which Peyton Reed is back in the director's chair, and the script is handled by Gabriel Ferrari and Paul Rudd. The latter will also be returning as the star, and Evangeline Lilly will come back in her role as Hope Van Dyke. The second adventure with Ant-Man will be coming to theaters on July 6, 2018. Despite its title, hopefully it will be the right choice. Michael B. Jordan and director Ryan Coogler are teaming up again for their new movie called Wrong Answer. Based on the 2014 story in The New Yorker by Rachel Aviv, it tells the true story of the 2006 standardized test cheating scandal in Atlanta public schools. In one school, many teachers, including Damari Lewis, played by Jordan, do their best to stop anything that would shut down their academy with the No Child Left Behind law. Both Aviv and Lewis will be on board in the project as consultants. This will make it the fourth time that both Jordan and Coogler would collaborate on a feature, which the previous works include Fruitative Station, Creed, and Marvel's Black Panther, which the latter will be out next year on February 16th. Hey, remember that Super Bowl commercial where Melissa wanted to try to save animals? Imagine that as a movie, but for Christmas. New Line Cinema has picked up a pitch from Ben Falcone and Melissa McCarthy for a movie called Margie Claus. The movie will be about the wife of Santa Claus who goes out to rescue her husband after he went missing on Christmas Eve. The movie will be written by Falcone and Damon Jones, while McCarthy will star in her first ever singing role. This will continue the legacy of movies that McCarthy and Falcone worked on together, including Tammy and the upcoming Life of the Party. New Line has also already set up a release date so that it would be released on November 15th, 2019. Be careful what you wish for! Annapurna Pictures has officially set up the release date of the remake of Death Wish for the end of November. It will be based on the 1974 Michael Winner film, which was based on the Brian Garfield novel about a vigilante who goes after criminals after his wife was murdered and his daughter became catatonic from them. It would later spin off several sequels, in which the last one, Death Wish 5, The Faces of Death, was released back in 1994. The remake will star Bruce Willis and will be featuring Elizabeth Shue, Kimberly Ellis, Mark Epps, and Vincent D'Onofrio. With the new release date, it will be up against Villa Capri, starring Morgan Freeman, and the animated Pixar film Coco. With Eli Roth directing the movie, it will be ready to hit theaters on November 22nd. And now it's time for Fantastic Teens and where to find them. Warner Brothers has set out auditions to find 5 teenagers to work on the upcoming Fantastic Beasts franchise. There is no confirmation rather if this will be either for the upcoming sequel or for the films after that, but the casting call stated, an open casting call has gone out for 3 actors between the age of 13 and 16 to play young versions of Newt, Letta, and another character called Sebastian. They are also looking for actors between 16 and 18 to portray both Gellert Grindelwald and Albus Dumbledore as teenagers. While many Harry Potter fans are now very familiar with these characters, one big surprise came from the inclusion of an unknown character called Sebastian. The next Fantastic Beasts movie will be ready to hit theaters on November 16th, 2018. And that's all I've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to head on down to film-book.com for all the latest movie and TV news, along with their columns on the box office and their theatrical release schedule. Also, you can follow them on whatever social media you'd like. And while you're at it, you can follow me on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter if you're more into stuff like animation, Disney, and my weird sense of humor. If you were watching this on YouTube, then hit that like button and come subscribe to us, and also leave a little comment on what you think on the news this week. If you were listening to this on a podcast on iTunes or any other podcast service, then don't forget to rate and review what you just heard. Tune in next time for another round of Movie News Weekly, and until next week, see you later, dudes!